Alright, back, and it seems like I don't have the units here. Alright, took care of most of the things in the south. Let's continue, I guess, with north this time. Because why not? Really? They don't get to attack through that way, huh? Well, let's move one more here. This way. I should have turned that off in such a case. Now, let's capture those last few cities, and then afterwards these guys can also move. I think all of this territory should secede to me. I think at least. Not particularly sure. Interesting this. I'm not quite sure why he would want to keep those units there. He did have a plane there, huh? Makes me wonder if Talin is empty or not. But it sure makes it a bit more difficult to deal with the entire area. Now, I don't necessarily think I'll need the entire core there. And it wouldn't surprise me if he will just have blocked off Narva. Yeah, these are isolated, okay. In that case, you cannot do an attack from that side, so you actually have to go down then. Security unit will easily leave. I actually need to put this back on. None of those units can actually attack Pskov in that way. I actually need to get these all the way over here. And attack them through that way. Next. I'm quite sure I cannot attack on 2. I'm willing to try this time. But there was nothing in there even. Actually on 15. You would think that by that point a hard attack might be necessary, but their defensive CV is 1. In that case, I can probably do this with a soft attack even. Yeah. No planes again this time. These actually have defensive value of 2.1, so it's a bit higher. I actually need a hard attack for that. Well, let's just get you across. I know I am attacking across the river. Let's try to do it with a soft attack. 90 is fine. Okay, good. That allows these to, at the very least, continue moving a bit. And now I don't need to worry about this pocket here anymore. It's not a big pocket or anything, but how many troops did I take? I still another 35k. Now, I need to basically keep Soviet losses above around 100k every single turn in order to make sure that they keep around the same numbers, and I can kind of continue advancing in a similar fashion as I did before. Of course, I don't get supplies as well as before, but let's see. Actually went better than I expected. So that wasn't that bad. Neither of them can attack at that point. I'd rather encircle them, to be honest. So they need 4 in order to get into either of those hexes, apparently. So I guess at that point the crossing at Polotsk is safe. Let's just run this security unit through here. Chance that there's anything in there is near 0, but still better off just making sure it is like that. Okay, moving any of those into that general direction. I don't like attacking from there, and I'm not going to use the armor. Ideally, I can use this core. Get rid of the airborne brigade. And I was quite afraid of that. Okay, well, the biggest problem is that you have to then get across the river with whatever unit you have. It's gonna cost me a lot of points, and this is exactly one of those reasons why you might want to get them beforehand. At least I still gotta surrender. Don't need to move with them. I don't think there's necessarily a whole lot of reason for them to take that territory. It's in a sense a bit unfortunate that we already get rain this early, turn 4. It's probably one of the earliest rains that I've seen ever. But it does certainly present some challenges. Now, I do think that my opponent had just retreated everything up to this line here. I think it's actually quite likely that he has done so. Let's... Turn is 18, 15. This is 15 on that hex or 16 there. It actually still makes this faster. Clearing out the no. From the no, there are, for all intents and purposes, 2 places that you can go. And that's over to Starya Russa, or to head further up north towards that area. Alright, well, let's start here. Let's follow the damn road. Okay, Talin is empty. That does prompt me to move 1 unit in there before any other units can get into the city. And I'll spread these 2 out in this way. My opponent can technically still get through on this side. I'll actually take this hex and move back. Also to make it look like there's another unit, but the 2 places that I really want to protect then are these. I'll quickly clear out the rest with those units, but getting Talin is actually quite an important supply hub through here, so I'm actually quite happy with that. It also means I can divert these guys over to the push towards Leningrad from this side. There are basically 2 questions here. The first is, do I want to take Pskov already? I seem to have some trouble even moving into this hex. I suspect it will cost me 4 or 5, but this claims there's only 3. It's a bit weird. Wow. How much would this be? This is 15. Well, I'll certainly... Assign some powerful units. 37 should be enough. Let's see if they're all in supply or all close enough. Now they are. Okay. This should be enough. 2-to-1 advantage. They've been encircled. I know it's city. Okay, I lost a few tanks, but no Panzer force at least. So that's still pretty reasonable. Rifle Division and the 1st Mechanized Corps both surrendered. Interesting, this is called... Oh, it's the Corps, 3rd Tank Division. 227 tanks. How many tanks does my opponent have on the map, actually? Currently 4,600. Okay, now ideally I will take up as much of this rail line as possible so I can start with pushing. And so I will go and take these hexes. In a bit of a strange fashion. Now, I cannot get you into Pskov, huh? Any other unit that can get into the city immediately, that would be great. I guess I'll defend it with Totenkopf. I will remove all these support units though. Once again. Thanks. But that leaves me in control of the city, and with them being next to it, I will actually have control over that on the next turn too. How useful is it for me to get this Panzer Division and move it? With such low combat value, I actually think I'm gonna at least rest 12 Panzer. And I probably should have just taken Totenkopf back as well. Pushing up supply. This will not allow me to work on these two rail pieces. Not that it matters that much, because I don't really care about this area necessarily. The area that I wanted is here. This will be fixed. There's this one piece of rail line to work on. 1, 2, 3, 4 technically. So the 6th Corps can stay at Jigapilsk at least for another turn, fixing up other rail areas, because I don't mind getting this fixed either. Okay, so that's Pskov. Meanwhile, I'll see how much further I want to continue along. This would actually already cut them off. Taking up this hex. And alright, let's just move them. They're powerful enough to rout them in one go without significant losses of any sort. And I want to continue moving the motorized core, so let's move it to Pskov. At that point. I still have the Lair motorized brigade. Currently 4 divisions of Veliki-Luki, which should be fine. The only problem here is that it will be somewhat difficult to remove 14th motorized, regardless, due to the positioning. Etc. I will reorganize these forces soon enough, but that's also a pretty large part about where we're going to move certain units. I think the 86th has very low supply. It's actually not that bad. The sub-taken territory. The only area where they can march quite well without using administrative movement is through the center here, or while using administrative movement is through the center. So I'll predominantly move them there too in order to speed up the infantry movement. Which is fine, I suppose. And I actually have these, huh? Well, let's do this then. It'll speed things up quite a bit. And I guess I'll try to get these units out. They do have to rest quite a bit. Either way, 61st, I'll move. Them over here. I probably don't need a whole lot of units here, and especially now these 2 corps together with the security unit will probably be enough to clear the remainder of the forces there. And then I primarily want to go and focus on this. I would also almost already retreat, but I think actually I might want to have this infantry move up through here before pulling them out. It does mean that I'll have 1 less armored unit or something of this sort, but it'll be okay. Let's keep you at Dno. Probably let them rest there for a bit. And at the same time, I'll move these here, but keep them there. They don't gain a whole lot of stuff back, but I don't need to move further along. In fact, I can't really move that much further along with them either way. So there is that. this what I did here kind of sucks. Not gonna lie. Either way, they're both exhausted. I might leave them around for turn or two just to reorganize as well. I need to get my infantry up to this line and then start attacking, and I'll have the armor in reserve for a bit. These guys also are kind of done for the moment. So, there certainly is no rush. Neither to get to Veliki-Luki. Should I move one hex back? I don't really think so. I think with these guys like this, they can most likely not move further than one hex, and even if my opponent does have another unit to get them out, then that will just make me snag that other unit as well. As a matter of fact, I can apparently take care of it quite well like this. Now, okay, Veliki-Luki is abandoned. Wonder if my opponent has decided to move into these woods. Could be. You have so much movement, I'm totally willing to check out any alternative movements here. They got very close, but not close enough. That's fine. For them to take Veliki-Luki, I do think it's worth it like this, I guess. Yeah, that's kind of fine. Let's fix up the rail yard at Pskov. I think my opponent is kind of tired of encirclements and has decided that he's going to pull back significantly in these areas to try and defend Leningrad, most likely. But I'll take any inch of ground that I can get, really. So, don't mind me. You do have 9th Army. Okay, well. I am going to reorganize most of these. Well, let's actually see. Actually go pretty far already. That's quite nice. Right. I will reorganize the HQs, certainly. To my advantage later on. Seems like I have a little bit of time left. Not really, but... yeah. Certainly move that. So let's take a look at Army Group Center. Now, since I've been able to get a crossing down to the south here, at that point it basically does become a priority to send units down, and it means that Smolensk itself is, I don't want to say it's a sideshow, but it becomes somewhat less important. What I find is that not only in I find it on the forums and maybe other places too, as the Axis player, it seems like most people don't go for, or they do go for Smolensk, and the Russian player can just leave this all empty and just jam all their force at Smolensk, and because the German player doesn't even try to go and take all this empty territory and outflank Smolensk from the rear, it yeah, they just smash their heads into Smolensk for no apparent reason. These guys are already quite exhausted. That doesn't mean that I don't need to take Smolensk, but it does kind of mean that I think people put too much emphasis on capturing it. Now, I am totally just gonna smack these. And route them, because I just want them out. Or I'm not gonna route them. That's a powerful unit, holy moly. Were there enemy airplanes? Yes, there were. Okay, so I also need to put on this. I'll put the 292nd in here. With well, basically I need a unit that can get here and attack the tanks. Which is you with a soft attack. I think it should be okay though, but yeah. Figured as much. I think that what they had was not necessarily what they'd want to see. These planes. My opponent still has 15,000 planes left in total. Moving like this kind of sucks. But because of the tank unit, I do need to clear this out once again. And retake Orsha. It's actually so... Oh, I already did this turn. Oh, okay, that doesn't matter then. I can get the rail up to Orsha next turn. That's okay. It's the route of tank division. What rather surprised me with was the placement of that HQ, but these guys can't even reach Vitebsk. You can. These guys are also at 1.5. Again, I don't have the infantry ready to attack. Okay. My opponent has some unit there. I'll just route them, it's fine. That is just fine. I need to get these guys back onto a road here. Okay, this sucks. Let's get rid of them. They should be very weak and thus that should allow me to take control of that fairly quickly. Let's see down here. My opponent also has a unit in this hex, clearly. But then potentially nothing beyond. So the tricky part, I guess, is to try and go around it. Certainly not through this way, I think. Crossing the river only to cross the river again. Doesn't sound like a great deal to me. Okay. Haven't moved in here. Shows that my opponent has more forces in that area. Not only did I not take this hex, I also didn't take this hex, meaning that my opponent also has a unit in here. Well, one thing I'm gonna do is... Oh yeah, it's route these. Which was easy enough. Okay. Moving in here shows that I did not take this hex. Neither did I take this or this, so he has defenses up here. Stack, I know it's across the river. Okay. Can't attack, huh? I would say very likely all of this is just empty. But I need to get more infantry into the area either way. And let's just meet them head on here, because I actually think they might not be all that cracked up as they seem to be. Or they are. Oh, that was something different altogether. Routing units can be useful too, I suppose, but okay. A 7, huh? I actually think my opponent is not going to have the power to take it. The good thing is that actually both rail lines are now cut off, so my opponent cannot go anywhere within this pocket. I mean, they can go up, don't get me wrong, but they have no movement which they can take otherwise to prevent certain. They can try to block this, but they can't use rail. So that kind of strikes my fancy. I'm actually quite happy about that. Let's also move these guys through Slobin. I'll probably make these guys part of 2nd Panzer Group. But we'll see. The armies here will take care of that stuff. just... And they can still move, and I probably should do that. These guys are not in great shape, though. It's a bit better like this. Thing is, I don't like to stop at Minsk, so preferably... get them going too. Okay. You here also secures that. I don't think that with this I'll need another unit at Mogilev. They would have to again move through in here and across the river, and I don't see it happening really. One thing I could see them do is cut this off. Cut off the motorized, but then the units that are gonna do that, they're just gonna get smacked. Let's get you at Mogilev though, so they can cross next turn. And swing at Smolensk from the other side. Okay. Now... encircling them is one thing. But I am actually quite interested to see how useful it is trying to outflank it from this side. It will probably be very hard, but I think... if I can encircle the Soviet positions through whatever means, I think that will be quite good. I don't need... to do a whole lot here either. I wonder if they're gonna try and launch a rescue attempt. I would find it interesting if they would. I'm gonna keep these guys here for now. No need to get all frisky with them, and they'll regain some combat prep points. So I'm purposefully not going for Smolensk yet. I know that means I'm getting less points, but I want to focus on stuff like this encirclement first. I think priority should be given to destroying the Red Army generally, and it took 200k losses, so that's pretty much fine for this turn. I'm gonna fight for Krivoy Rog on the next turn. I'm actually going to move you back one hex so you'll regain combat prep points. That cannot be good. I will not attack. I could even see my opponent move here and then here, cutting them off. That's a bad idea because then I don't even have the zone of control. Here or here, or I guess in through here. Let's just get them through here. And then up. Doesn't really matter a whole lot, but I'm sure we'll be fine. Alright. I'm gonna wrap things up here. I will reorganize everything and then I will meet you back on the other side. Quite a few things happened, I suppose. Cutting off Odessa, capturing Kirovograd, starting in some kind of Kiev encirclement movement, captured Gomel in my bid to go down now. This was rather unfortunate, but I should have seen it coming actually. Definitely a bad play on my part. Trying to bypass Smolensk from the north, although supplies will be bad, of course. We'll see how that goes. I'm almost at Pskov here, so I could also see myself doing a bit of rail work over to Veliki-Luki. Maybe I would even carry these guys over to this side. Trying to work on that rail towards Idritsa. Wouldn't actually be that bad, but then I'm missing actually this particular part, which is this last part which I want. So maybe once I've taken care of this here, I'll be moving it towards this side. Wouldn't be that bad of an idea to start working on the rail over in that section, I think. And then capturing Pskov and moving up towards whatever line they have here, trying to break until we can get to Luga line. But we're not that far yet, and taking Pskov is also a particularly well, I don't want to say difficult task, but it's cost of intensive. Yeah, we captured Veliki-Luki. I don't want to move further ahead for now, but I would dare say that, you know, getting this rail line to Rzhev is going to be important too. So if I can, the more stuff I can capture on that rail line, the better. Yeah, so that's a turn 4. I'll start with the naval shenanigans near Odessa next turn as well. If I'm lucky, I can capture Nikolaev, but we'll see how it goes. You definitely need quite a bit of firepower for it, so we'll see. Either way, yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll meet you on the other side. Hello friend, and welcome back in the 4th turn of my game against Go Chopper. I've taken care of all the support units. I've moved some units around a bit, changed some HQs, etc., to make sure that everything is okay on the Eastern Front. There is one last thing though that I was thinking about that I want to do is I actually want to go and get Das Reich and move it into this hex. I cannot get it here, but this will put some distance between these units, and if they want to break out towards this side, that'll make it more difficult since they will have a lot of difficulty moving around here with the first zone of control and second zone of control, forcing them to go up through these swamp hexes and stuff like that. We'll see how many might eventually escape. I wouldn't expect to get the entire pocket, but we'll see. Either way, I'm going to move these guys up. Could move them there, but I think the defense of 69 here means also that if my opponent decides to get frisky, basically this unit is... it's not going to get away from this position, basically. So I hope this will at least prevent them from escaping towards the east. And they could indeed try to go here. I cannot get into Nezin, unfortunately, or into Pre-Luki, but we'll see how much fuel those guys get. Right, so let's only move you across this river. So that they don't have to cross it again afterwards, and I can make use of this crossing soon enough. Even, yeah, they can go around again. That's all well and fine. Okay. So I didn't move any units except the HQ units. Besides, there's one last thing that I want to take a look at, and that's ground combat values here to see where I might have a significant surplus of units. For example, here I have too many bombers, and there's no reason for me to have them there. Do I already have bombers in the garrison? No, I don't. Whereas they can actually fill up 10 in terms of combat. Now I need 60, so I can actually get a value of 6 worth of bombers over there. So I'm currently at 46. I can get that to 40. Get them to the garrison one by one, and then see if I can get that to 40 here. Bomber 4420. It's a bit weird with bombers in the garrison, but whatever. If I can put some bombers in there and save me some 6 combat value, that means I can get keep another unit somewhere else. 41-2. I should go for a pretty small one now. This is the headquarters. I'm not gonna. Oh, I send headquarters. You know, technically it doesn't really matter if it's slightly over. Especially since the garrison will go up from 60 at some point anyway. Yeah, it's 0.4, that's fine. Flag low. I have a lot of flag high here again, but flag high does count ultimately towards air day. So I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, that's that. Norway. Do you have a surplus of something that badly? They still have a huge surplus of construction. Means I should be able to send one of them somewhere else. Once again, even in garrison, construction does count. I already have 2.82. That's 2 construction units. That's fine. That's actually counting for 0.9 currently, because it shouldn't be, because at 1.86 is 50%. Makes no sense. So I'm not going to send it to the garrison. I already have them there. Then can I send more construction here? I already am over it in here. 5% here would be 7. So I can technically send it over to Finland. And that might actually, it takes 5 turns. Jeez. And in terms of construction, they're fine. Okay, so let's leave it at this, otherwise it'll become too little. Too many patrol units, according to that, but not according to naval. Finland is not over it with anything. I most already took care of it, but I'm just rechecking it. I have too much artillery in North Africa at the moment. Quite a bit too much. So I can actually send some away. Probably, let's see. 10% artillery would actually be 29, so I could actually send them over to Western Europe. And that might actually even like allow me to take another infantry, for example, or something else. I have gazillion static units here. Hmm. Yeah, let's do it because I can still build it up there. Let's see. I have 3 too many. They solved on turn 7, huh? Well, that's no use then. They will always just go out. Well, let's just send them somewhere so I can already disband it then immediately because I want to know whether I have enough or not. 718. Okay, that is a bit weird. .553. 7 artillery are constituting that. So I should be able to take 1 more. Yeah, okay. Excellent. It's coastal artillery, whatever. I have too many fighters according to ground, but not really that much according to air day. Too much patrol, but not according to naval, so we're looking fine there. The last thing that I want to do is actually fly can't fly any air units there, okay. Why under the Romanian Air Command? Nope. Sometimes I'm just kind of confused as to where I can get certain units. I could get them there, but I couldn't get them all the way down there. What if I... Okay. Could get them at Pskov too. What about Borosani? No. Maybe it's because they consider it to be Romanian territory, but then Kishinev I can also not do it. Okay, well, let's fly them in. And they probably are then at flown 100. Yeah, 12,100. Okay. Neither of those have traveled. I'm gonna put all of these in a Flieger für Ostsee, and then I will send them over down there for some patrol on the next turn. I'm not gonna attack Odessa straight away, and it does allow me to see whether I have enough air units there or not. The answer is probably not, but currently only these guys here, and I can't fly them to Orchakov yet either. Although I probably wouldn't be able to get supplies there. Now I'm gonna get stuff at Tiraspol. The other air units from Fliegerführer Ostsee. Really, you guys should be able to fly there. The bomber should be able to get there no problem, but I want to get the recons to be able to fly as much as possible. If I send no. All these over to Tiraspol. They don't have enough men, but ultimately that should be fine. And okay, I'm gonna still fly air transport. I'll start with the close Ju-52s. Generally just bring stuff slightly forward. I can't even get it to Proskurov, but there are not enough supplies at Tarnopol. Oh, immediately get stuck. I mean, the supplies got far, but not, I guess, far enough. I do tend to prefer deploying or dumping it on airfields, I guess. Okay. This is a bit too risky. No. Only these two will launch it to Vilnius. Can't even see if I'm gonna lose planes or not. Now, there's one last thing that I want to do in the reserves with the air units too. I'm gonna have to take a look there as well, because I actually have all these Italian planes there, and to be honest, I'm not quite sure what to do with these Italian transports. I guess for now I can send them back to Italy. They don't really do anything here. Wonder where these guys come from. Because they do have 2 Stuks, but it's only 200 men. 208. It's like 2,400. Oh, okay. It's all support units. Maybe I can get them onto the map later, and once I get the Italian Expeditionary Force or something. One last thing. Okay. Transgroup North is a Jacob Pilsk. Huh. Well, sure, that would be great. My opponent is not flying, so that's good. I can get a bunch of supplies at Pskov, or at least some. I don't need to use these anymore. Nothing can fly, no, not... I mean, I guess from Riga to Junkers 88s. Gives me a few supplies. Not amazing, but let's already build a depot at Pskov itself. Do I have priority rail repair? Yes, I do. Let's take a look at the other places that I've gotten where I might want to have priority rail repair as well. Vostok is 25, so I don't need the priority rail repair here. Do need it at Vinica. Damn. How about here? No. I did get at Pskov, I would assume, yeah. But there's no construction unit. Weird that. There was none, but I'm gonna assign it. I don't really care. How about Tarnopol? I will assign 4th Panzer Group Road Construction Battalion, I guess. They do have it, okay. Right. That's going to be the end of this turn. I'm going to ship it back to my opponent, and then I'll talk about a bit of this strategy that I'm going to employ for the upcoming turn. So, oh, I should have passed the turn on. All right, I'll be back. No, I'm not going to show it. I'll just do this off screen here. Okay, here we are with a terrible picture. Either way. Let's go for drawing, and I guess paintbrush is gonna be fine. Okay. Here we are. So first of all, let's go for 18th Army. And 18th Army, I have one corps that will clear out these remaining empty areas. So 18th will clear the rest of the Balkans, and then we'll cover the western approaches to Leningrad. We'll have 4th Panzer, which is gonna go and most likely try to move through here, potentially also through here and here, especially here. If I can cut off the rail line there, that would be super helpful. Then we'll have need a very soft kind of pink, yeah. 16th Army, and 16th Army is going to push alongside towards these rail lines and potentially supporting the move up. At the same time, for Army Group North purposes, I'm just going to really quickly show off 9th Army, because 9th Army is also Army Group North. 9th Army will strike north of Smolensk, and I guess maybe at Smolensk itself too, and try to outflank it towards Rzhev. Basically this way. That's how that's going to look. And 3rd Panzer is then going to strike at Smolensk, but it actually does not have the biggest priority to me. Rather, I would like to encircle Smolensk from the south and or from the north if I can. And I don't care about the points, I'll take them later. Then, Army Group Center. I already did discuss that 3rd Panzer, which is somewhat under strength, together with 9th Army. And potentially attack too here. We'll do that. Now we'll have both 2nd and 4th Armies. And 2nd Army will be at the top. 2nd and 4th Armies are currently really small. So they can't do a whole lot. Second Army, Fourth Army moving in between here towards Bryansk and Orel. Ultimately trying to get over into that location, and for second that means that they're also moving in that direction. It might be that they actually have to swing further south, and in that case basically both these armies will move in a broad front over to Kursk, Orel and Tula. And I'm not saying it's interchangeable, but that's basically where those two armies will be going. At the same time, I still have units from 3rd Panzer Group going south together in conjunction with 2nd Panzer Group, which is also moving south, trying to establish the Kiev pocket here. That's these units. Once Smolensk is taken, I can then see these units move or try to capture Vyazma, after which they will swing both sides. For 9th Army, they will also move upon Rzhev and then Kalinin. 2nd Panzer Group is supposed to, after this Kiev pocket, move upon oh, this is the wrong color. 2nd Panzer Group, after taking care of the Kiev pocket, is supposed to move upon Kursk and then swing north as well in this general direction towards Moscow, and then potentially we will encircle it and destroy the Soviet troops. That's the ultimate goal. There. But we're not there yet, so we'll see. Now in the south, we've made significant progress. Let's talk about what we're going to do. First of all, once again, 2nd Panzer will screen the forces here, move up, try to take care of the Kiev pocket, then move up north of Kharkov in the general direction of Kursk, Orel, etc. 6th Army, which is, I guess, a pretty difficult color to get here. 6th Army will support in the attack on Kiev. Afterwards, we'll move in a general direction east towards Kharkov and support an attack into the Donetsk basin. 16th we'll move into a general direction east and then strike north towards the Donetsk basin, trying to secure the other crossings as well. 1st Panzer Group this is just not the right kind of red that I want, but okay. 1st Panzer Group swinging south to take the Black Sea ports, cross the river, and then swing east over here, while at the same time moving here as well to secure the other crossings and take over this general territory. If needs be, they will have some assistance getting troops into the Crimea. last 11th Army will attack Odessa, and after Odessa they will help in the capturing of the Black Sea ports and move into the Crimea. If they succeed, then the 11th Army will both rest and help with a strike over up here. But that's only if they are done in the Crimea, which is highly unlikely. As for the Romanian units, they will try to hold positions on the river if needed. If my offensive stalls, they will take up certain defensive positions and will mainly play supporting roles in this area. And will also help with the Crimea over there. So that's going to be the strategy for the upcoming couple of turns. I want to thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe. And I will see you all in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.